What's up, my friends in film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching? Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time. We're going to go back to the 80s for some classic, nerd, awesome comedy, fun stuff that we used to be able to make back in the day before everybody got all PC. Breaking down one of the earlier films of the late, great Val Kilmer. Here to do it with me is my hero life mate, Jarret. What's up, brother?
I'm enjoying the fake fall that we have right now before it inevitably spikes up to like 90 degrees for no fucking reason in September, and then it's going to plunge to about 20 degrees for about the next 5 months. So yeah, I'm enjoying these few days of very, very rare, nice weather. I'm side-eyeing it though because I'm waiting for it to just like through the roof.
Yeah, this whole like last year has been stupid. It was like a way worse winter than we usually get here. We generally speaking get the more mild winters for the Midwest. This was just brutal for like 6 or 8 weeks. It was just below zero, awful.
A lot of snow.
And then like it finally got nice for about a week, and then it was torrential rain for all of spring into the summer. It's just like you couldn't enjoy anything. And then after that, it just got hot as hell.
It was ungodly hot, yeah.
So there was no room to breathe.
You have like 2 weeks of like actually collectively 2 entire weeks out of the entire year that where it's just that right. That Goldilocks porridge is just fucking right for like 2 weeks out of the entire year. That's all you get. So take the day that you can.
But no Tex today. Tex is off mourning. He was really hoping he had a shot at Taylor Swift, but she is now engaged to Travis Kelce. He's just jealous, I think is what it is. He says we had Tony Romo and Jessica Simpson first before Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. But so he's in mourning right now. He's drinking his own sorrows and trying to figure out what he's gonna do with his life now that Taylor Swift is finally off the market. But he'll be back. He'll be back next week, I'm sure. I don't know if he'll be back. What's that?
I was like, is this where I insert my my line? I wish I cared.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even know what it was. Someone just kind of like this woman just like reacts to her phone and just says like, "How are we expected to work the rest of the day when like with news like this?" And she just, oh my god, that's the whole video. I'm like, what? You dumb piece of shit! What?
Yeah.
I go to the comments and I was like, oh my god. I'm like, comments don't help. And finally got to like the bottom of the fucking barrel. Taylor Swift. I'm like, oh, I don't care. Okay, next video. I'm like, okay. I wish I cared.
Yeah, I don't care either. As long as Kansas City loses, I don't care. but yeah, let's get.
They'll get divorced if he loses the game. I don't know. Who knows?
Tom Grossi put up
she's got a whole album right there. Palm of her hand.
Yeah, Tom Grossi put up a funny video. He's the NFL guy. There's a lot of, whenever a big signing happens, he does his reaction. He did a reaction to
right there
to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce getting engaged. Different fan reactions from different teams. It's pretty funny. So go check out some Tom Grossi. He's a funny guy. But we are here, of course, to talk about Real Genius. That is a 1995 American science fiction comedy film directed by Martha Coolidge. Let's see, starring Val Kilmer and Gabriel Jarret. The film is set on the campus of Pacific Tech. Oh, I'll say that 5 times real fast. A science and engineering university similar to Caltech. It follows Chris Knight, played by Kilmer, a genius in his senior year at the school, who is paired with a new student on campus, Mitch Taylor, played by Jarret, to work on a chemical laser, only to learn that it will be used for dangerous, nefarious purposes. The film received positive reviews from critics and grossed $13 million at the box office against a budget of only $8 million. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 77% based on 35 reviews, with an average rating of 6.7 out of 10. The critical consensus reads, quote, "It follows college tropes, but Real Genius has an optimistic streak that puts you on Val Kilmer's side all the way." Reports did surface in September of 2014 that a potential television series was in the works. NBC was set to produce the comedy series with Sony TV, Happy Madison, and 3 Arts Entertainment. As of December 17th, there were no updates on the production, which means to me it's probably not going to happen. But I don't know, Jeremy, you've had a chance to watch Real Genius. Why don't you give me your quick thoughts on this 80s gem?
Well, considering you said 1995, man, I'll gladly take that into my lexicon. I think you meant 1985.
Did I typo?
Either you typoed or read it wrong. You said 1995. I was like, well, I mean, sure.
Wrong. I probably read it wrong.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm like, no, 1985. Yeah. This is this is in that time again where we've said before we used to make fun movies. We used to make, not everything had to have a sequel or had to be part of some franchise or have some movie sequel 40 years later. It's like you just made fun movies that you had, you could have a laugh at. And it's like, while there is the goofy, the quippy lines from Val Kilmer and kind of that style, it's got its own little charm to it. But it's like, but there is kind of a serious, almost serious implication with the fact that they're building basically a Death Star, like death laser. I get the time. It's like, and you got to think about, I mean, I wasn't there obviously for this time period, but it's like, but I know what the implications are. I know what this is trying to say and what it's referencing for its time period. So it does kind of hold a weird weight to it where you're like, oh, this could be a real thing. That would be kind of a problem, for mid 80s and beyond. But no, yeah, it's a fun movie, and it's like, it's just sad we don't have fun anymore. And it makes me sad.
Yeah, the 80s is an interesting decade because you basically had like 7 different variations of the same plot that would come out in 7 different movies, and like 2 of them would do well, and the rest of them were all just kind of lost in the wash. It's kind of hard to make any sense out of why one or 2 of those movies would endear over the years, and other ones who were on their own pretty good films just kind of get lost. They just get lost in the shuffle. I mean, there was no shortage of nerds taking over the world kind of movies in the 80s, especially the mid 80s.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds is another one that comes out. It's this one and Revenge of the Nerds are the 2 that really last. But there was a bunch of
weird Science.
Weird Science is another one that is kind of, it's got the cult following, but I don't think it really did as well as these. But yeah. But yeah, I think the example of why some of these movies last so long, like Real Genius, is just it's kind of the perfect storm of a lot of things happening. You've got a young Val Kilmer. I mean, fresh off of, I think he had done Top Secret like a year or 2 before this. You had some guys that were already like William Atherton. I think at that point had already been in Ghostbusters. He'd already
Ghostbusters, yeah.
So it's like he had already kind of had a little bit of a name for himself. So it's great story, great writing, great directing. All the stuff that shouldn't have come together to be awesome just comes together and is awesome. And that's one of the things that makes that movie, whenever it comes out, timeless. Is this all comes together and works. We talk a lot about Kevin Smith. He doesn't have the best actors in his stuff. It's like Brian O'Halloran isn't getting nominated for any Oscars anytime soon. But I mean, who else could do Dante the way that it needs to work in that film universe? Nobody else could. It's sometimes you don't want the best people, you want the right people. And this movie really did have all the right people in place, from director all the way down to even the bit part actors. But it's a fantastic, fun movie, again, from a time where we didn't have to be butthurt about stupid jokes and whatever. But let's go ahead and get right into some of the spoiler discussions. Let's talk first about Martha Coolidge. I don't have a good picture of her because there isn't really anything recent that I have found. But let's talk about Martha Coolidge. Not a very long resume, but she's had a few things come out that are significant. She directed another staple of all 80s movies with Valley Girl. One of the first things to happen to get made with Nick Cage. The Joy of Sex was a movie I never saw, but it got a lot of press. Let's see, she did this in 85, and she did Lost in Yonkers in the 90s, which is a really great 90s movie. Out to Sea, which it was in the 90s when they were making all those funny movies about old guys. She made one of those, and that was actually really funny. She did The Prince and Me, which I'm sure my girlfriend's seen it 200 times. I don't think I've ever seen it. She also did a lot of television. She did an episode of one of my favorite TV shows in the 80s that didn't last very long, called Sledgehammer. Oh my God, if I could find that on DVD, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. It's kind of it's a slightly more serious Naked Gun kind of thing. It's got David Ratchke, who's been in a bunch of movies over the years, but he plays what the hell is he? He plays Inspector Sledgehammer is actually his name, and he's like a goofy cop that walks around with like a fucking 50 cal Beretta handgun, and he's always just wants to shoot people. It's just so funny. It
almost sounds like Naked Gun mixed with like a parody of like Dirty Harry or something.
Honestly, that's not a bad way to describe it. He's like really hardcore cop, and it's all kind of a comedy. And he's got like the female blonde partner that kind of keeps him from going way over the edge, and the captain who in true 80s style kind of pounds his fists against the desk. He goes, "Damn you, Hammer," and stuff like that. But she also did an episode of Sex and the City, which I've heard was a good show. Never watched. She did several episodes of CSI in its initial run. things like Madam Secretary, which is actually not a bad show because they're just kind of left leaning. I thought it was very well acted. The Glades, which is another show I never watched, but I heard it was good. Some other TV movies, all of which I've never heard of. But I mean, for a relatively short resume, she's done some pretty cool stuff. I don't know. I mean, if you're not familiar with the rest of her work, what do you think of at least what she did with this film?
Yeah, I was trying to look through some of these. Not really familiar with too many of these. I mean, to be fair with this movie, like I said, it has that weird. It's kind of got the goofy undertones, but like, still kind of the serious, main plot. It almost kind of teetered on like, I don't want to say like Animal House. It wasn't like quite like that, but you know what I mean when I say that.
Oh yeah,
kind of had like an Animal House vibe to it. Yeah, and obviously, like we look back now, and it's obviously like, yeah, of course, Val Kilmer just brings it. I mean, I think you've said this one a few times. Like we've seen him do, more serious things, more dramatic stuff. But it's like in this one, I'm like, man, he's just a goofball. But it's like you kind of just love the guy. You don't even care what he's doing, but you'd want to hang out with this dude. So he's kind of the heart of this movie, which is what carries it. It's like you can see where like everyone's like, yeah, this kid's got potential. I like the cut of your jib, kid. We're gonna put you in this movie called Top Gun. It's gonna be fantastic. In a couple of years. But yeah, no, I like this movie. What was the one you said that was the parody? The one I was trying to look while you were speaking and I lost it.
Sledgehammer. I actually went and looked. It's only available on Crunchyroll, which is I'm not going to subscribe to the service to watch it. I'll probably find it on DVD
anime site.
But like it's Sledgehammer with an exclamation point is actually part of the name too. Okay. It ran on ABC. It actually ran for 2 seasons. I was wrong. I remember it only running for 1 season. I swear to God, it's been the 80s since I've watched the show. But it ran from September of 86 to February of 88.
Okay. No, not Peter Gabriel. God damn it. It's a good song, but no, not
great song. Cool video, but no, not the same thing.
Good song. Yeah, very cool video, but no, that's not what I'm looking for, damn it.
She also did some episodes of the Twilight Zone series from 1986. Ooh. Which if you do 3 episodes of the Twilight, well, the 80s one was actually still pretty good. It was the one that came out like in the early 2000s that
that one wasn't good.
Yeah, that Jordan Peele tried to host. That one really wasn't the same because my dad was a huge Twilight Zone fan, and he had watched a couple of episodes and was kind of like, it's a little too. It doesn't have the same feel. It needs to be like in black and white or really grainy. It needs to be look cheaply made to make the kind of the effect stand out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like there's a reason why like Doctor Who, it's like there's a reason why it does look goofy and like just low budget because that's what it's supposed to look like.
That's the charm.
You still that's the charm, and you still tell the story of what you're trying to tell. Like you still tell this deep story of like, basically Twilight Zone ends with like Rod Stewart going out there and mic dropping like, yeah, humans suck. Here's example number 372. You know what I mean? Picture, if you will, for a moment, a world. Jesus. But no, it works. And still, it sells it. I love that shit. The old show is awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking at her. Like I said, I'm looking at her work. Valley Girl is a classic, and it's probably the movie that launched Nicolas Cage. To be perfectly honest, it was, I think, a year or so earlier that he was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. But he's kind of in a background role. Him and Anthony Edwards actually were just kind of background roles in that. Rambling Rose is another one that she got a lot of awards for. Again, Out to Sea, a funny movie back in the 90s. For some reason, it was all about let's make a lot of buddy comedies with old men. So there was like that. There was Grumpy Old Men, things like that, and a lot of them were kind of funny. But when you've got like Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, you've got a couple of classic actors that have been funny for at that point 30 or 40 years. So yeah, I mean, Prince and Me, like I said, I never watched it, but I mean, it was popular. Who was in it? It's got Julia Stiles in it. Yeah, she's hot, but whatever. I never watched it. No. But like I said, the Twilight Zone is interesting to me because that 86 version of the Twilight Zone show was really good. And her doing 3 episodes of it, is not lost on me. And then of course, Sex and the City, which was a popular show. CSI, very popular show. She did 5 episodes of that. Went on to do things like Weeds and Psych, which are huge shows on their own. Psych was a funny show. The Glades, which is a popular show, and again, never watched it. Madam Secretary, again, I only watched a few episodes here and there, but I thought it was a pretty well done show. I've always wanted to actually go back and try to find that series, go back and watch from episode 1 all the way through, because I like the political dramas and stuff like that. But and I've never seen any of her TV movies that she's done, to be absolutely honest. Never heard of it. An American Girl. Nope, it looks like a kids movie anyway. Tribute. Never heard of it. That looks like something straight out of a romance novel. Not for me. But and Trenchcoat in Paradise from 1989. What's that all about? I had Dirk Benedict from the A-Team. Hey, that's something, but it looks kind of stupid. But yeah, I love what she did with this movie. I mean, because again, there was like 10 or 15 movies that had this basic plot line back in 1985. But the ones that stand out are the ones that are really well made. Because look, I could just go and find a bunch of nerds that say nerdy things and get them on camera for an hour and a half and kind of cut it together where it tries to make some sense. But this movie is actually it's actually very well done. I get into the characters, I get into the story. It kind of touches on a little bit of the Cold War tension without directly getting into the Cold War, without saying we're fighting the Russians, we're fighting whoever, with all of that. It's kind of like Top Gun that way. It never really names the bad guy. It just says that there's things internal that are bad. And then of course you have William Atherton, who is maybe one of the greatest bad guys in the 80s ever. I mean, between him and William Zabka, I mean, the 80s had the best bad guys, the best assholes that you wanted to hate. So he played this character, and he played Walter Peck in Ghostbusters, which we all love to hate him and see him get just completely coated in marshmallow towards the end of the movie. But yeah, I thought it was a very well done movie, and her body of work as a whole is not bad. Again, I'm really surprised that it's so short. I mean, because she's 80 now, and and she started in 76 making films, then went on to television, and then so I mean, going back to she literally, I was born in 76, so we're looking at 49 years of potential work. It's kind of odd that she didn't get more stuff. I mean, because like I said, a lot of these movies were really good. I mean, she only had more than a director role in two films. Not a Pretty Picture, which was her first. Never saw it, never heard of it. And City Girl, which was another movie that's gotten a lot of buzz that she's known for. But again, the rest of it she just directed, and they're good movies. I mean, they're not bad at all. So I'm kind of disappointed that she didn't get more. But all I know is she did good with this movie. That makes me very, very happy. But moving on now, let's talk about the cast. And good God, I mean, you don't know exactly. You look at a cast of young people, you never know who's gonna blow up. You never know who's going to go on to do great things. But I mean, good God, it's like this cast has all gone on to do some outrageous things. I mean, Val Kilmer obviously is the biggest name to come out of this thing. But again, it's not like a lot of these people didn't go on to have some pretty successful careers. What do you think of the cast of this film, and who stood out to you the most?
Obviously the easy answer is Val Kilmer, because I mean, duh. He, like I said, he's kind of the heart, and obviously a lot of the comedy that comes out of this movie. And with that picture there, he does kind of contrast pretty well against what's his name? I can't remember his name in the movie.
Gabe Jarret. Mitch Taylor is his name in the movie.
Mitch. Yeah. It's almost like it's like Val looking back on his character. He's like, I used to be like you. And they're all kind of like, we used to kind of be like you. And then, this is how we end up. Or over there, like in Mitch, what's his name? Mitch. It's like, this is what happens to you when you get too sexually frustrated. Just taking jabs at the poor guy. This is ice. This is what happens when water gets cold. This is what happens when you get too sexually frustrated. He's singing these fucking insults just left and right like it's nothing. That's what makes it great.
You'll rue the day.
Who talks like that? Yeah. But I think Jordan was actually my favorite character. She was funny, just kind of entertaining as being like the really awkward, like nerdy girl who talks about 100 miles an hour. Kind of neurotic, but she's fun. She still plays her part and has that weird like crush on the main kid. I still Mitch. Jesus Christ. She was fun. She didn't really do too much after this, did she? I think she like kind of quit on acting after a little while, after like late 80s or something.
Her two like big movies were this, and she played Judy in Revenge of the Nerds, one of the sorority that they hook up with. She's the girl with the glasses that dates Gilbert. But after from what I've read, this was years ago. I didn't do much reading about it after that.
I thought she like just kind of stepped aside.
She left acting, moved to Canada, got really into like meditation or something like that, and her husband now eventually started some acting school or something like that. I don't know. She left acting. I mean, she from what I've read, she just didn't like what Hollywood was, and I'm like, I don't blame you. even back,
she's like,
back in the 80s,
what I.
Yeah, back in the 80s, I can imagine there was still a lot of stupid shit going on back in Hollywood. So, yeah.
Yeah. She was just like, it wasn't giving her what she really thought out of it, which I'm like, fair enough, I guess. But, yeah, you do you. So, yeah, I think she was my favorite because she was fun. Yeah, because she does the off-the-wall shit, like just casually sanding her bedroom floor at like 3 a.m, as you do.
It's like,
turn it off. Her roommate left.
Turn it off. Go to sleep.
But she never sleeps. Remember, I'm down the hall. I never sleep.
I drove my other roommate crazy because I'm all the time fucking moving. One of the things that's cool about this movie is, like I say, the great movies are made by villains. This movie actually kind of has two. It's got William Atherton, who was kind of the big bad.
Yeah.
But I also love the guy you see on your left, the guy played by Robert Prescott. I've seen him in other things as well. He's been a character actor most of his career. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was the guy who was driving the little Land Cruiser in Spaceballs when he's like, "You found anything yet?" That's actually him underneath that dome, believe it or not. But yeah, Robert Prescott is Kent. There's two really good bad guys. Robert Prescott's bad guy, the Kent character, is kind of like I was as I was watching this over the weekend. I was kind of in my head comparing him to Kripke from Big Bang Theory. He's a guy who's every bit as smart, but just like socially does not have. he's bent. He doesn't have a good handle on things. He just doesn't get it at all. So yeah, it is cool to have like two different levels of bad guy, but obviously William Atherton is fantastic. But for just one moment, can we have a John Grease appreciation for just a moment? Talk about guys who have been in almost every movie for like 30 years, and you don't know it, but he's like one of the guys that really just kills. I mean, playing Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite. He's played the werewolf on a couple different occasions. The one that sticks out to me the most is in Monster Squad, which is another movie I want to try to get to. Dude, this guy has been so good in so many movies. He's never really, I don't know. I would have to imagine it's by choice because he was a huge name for most of the 80s. But into the 90s, obviously. But it's like I don't understand why he didn't get a chance to carry something. He's just so damn good in everything that he's in. I mean, real quick, I'll go through a little bit of his. I mean, Fright Night Part 2, Monster Squad. That's when he played the two werewolves. Let's see. Let me go down. Oh, he was in the first Taken movie. No, he was in all three of the Taken movies. He was the group of guys that Liam Neeson knows that helps him out do a bunch of stuff. Again, character work. Let's see. More American Graffiti, which I'll be absolutely honest, was not a very good movie. Real Genius, Running Scared. He was one of the other detectives in the movie Running Scared with Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal. That's another classic 80s movie. Fright Night Part 2. He was in Get Shorty. He was in Men in Black in a small role. Let's see. The rundown. Napoleon, getting into the 2000s. Napoleon Dynamite. Jesus Christ, the list is just so damn long. September Dawn, which is a really good movie. I wouldn't mind reviewing that at some point. Then Taken, of course, the Taken movies. Good Intentions. Have I seen that movie? I remember the poster, but I've never actually seen the movie. Taken again. God, The Last Survivors. That wasn't a bad movie. This is Endgame. I've never heard of this movie, but no, not the.
I was like, no,
not the other one. His television work, Helter Skelter. Honestly, I've never actually seen that series. It's a TV movie actually, but I've heard it's really good. I need to find it somewhere. He's been on shows like The Jeffersons. I mean, one of the Cagney and Lacey, Falcon Crest, huge shows. Quantum Leap back in 1991, good show. X-Files. He was on Beverly Hills 90210 for whatever reason. 4 episodes on there. Chicago Hope, big. Seinfeld, big. Seinfeld again. Yeah, okay, so 2 different characters on Seinfeld. ER, 24. I don't remember him in 24. He was in the season 2. I have to go back and watch season 2. Las Vegas, Lost, CSI New York. He was on Sons. He did an episode of Sons of Anarchy. I have to go back and watch that. He was on Psych. He was on the new version of Hawaii Five-0, which I didn't like that much. The Napoleon Dynamite. They made a series for Napoleon Dynamite. I had no idea.
It was just a movie.
He came back to play Uncle Rico on that. Then, of course, Criminal Minds. He's got a reoccurring role in White Lotus, which I've never seen, but I know people that say it's good. He's done stuff on Saturday Night Live. He actually did some voice work for the Hitman Absolution game. He's also directed music videos, not for any bands that I've ever heard of. No, he was in the Alice in Chains Rooster video in 1993. I'm gonna go back and watch that video now. It's been so long since I've watched any music videos because they don't really make them anymore. But I mean, dude, just for a second, can we just appreciate that guy's been in everything and he's been good in everything, and he's funny in this. Like the first time he walks in and he stares at Mitch, then just walks into the closet and disappears like like a ghost. It's one of those moments where you want to laugh at it, but you're like, what the fuck? What am I going to see? And it's just really, like I said, he's one of the guys that as soon as you see him in something, he's going to be very entertaining and very funny, or just good. Like I said, Monster Squad is a great movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it or not, but it's fantastic stuff. It is a kid-like comedic version of the Universal monsters. That's kind of what it's about. But it's still fun. It's still fun. I've actually got it on DVD if you want to borrow it. But again, the cast from obviously Val Kilmer is a standout. I mean, he's just very good, and William Atherton, of course, already huge at that point. But the cast just works well together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Also, I couldn't find a good picture of him. Is that him? No, that's not him. But Dean Devlin is actually one of the nerds in this movie, and one of his few roles. And Dean Devlin is the one that actually went on to give us movies like Independence Day, Godzilla, Stargate. Yep. They ended up writing and directing a lot of those films. So I mean, he had a big hand in that. Also, the guy that played Chosen in the Karate Kid Part 2, and would come back to reprise the role in the Cobra Kai series. He's one of the nerds who gets a couple of shots in this movie as well. So nice to see some of those other 80s faces kind of pop in. But yeah, the cast of this movie is just great all around. Again, sometimes it's not about having the best people, but having the right people. And I think they have the right people cast in this thing. And Gabe Jarret for the lack of success he's had for other off-screen reasons, he's managed to do pretty well. I mean, he was one of the technicians in Apollo 13. He was one of the guys that, kind of the background players that works in Mission Control to get them back. He was in the couple episodes of The West Wing. He had a small role in The American President. He's been in a lot of stuff over the years. Kind of a character actor, a very small scale character actor. It's good to see his career kept going. I mean, short of, whatever little trouble he got into. Supposedly he got caught trying to meet a 14-year-old girl for some fun time. That's I don't know. I don't know if that's how it turned out. He denied it. I don't even know how it ended up turning out. Maybe he was right, but I don't know.
Somebody got Chris Hansen on the phone.
Yeah, I know. He got Chris Hansen. But no, maybe he's innocent. I don't know.
Hey, have a seat.
I don't even know how that turned out. It was like in the news once and then it disappeared and there's like nothing about it online. So maybe it was true. Maybe it was all just a big mistake. I don't know. But let's move on now. Yeah. Let's move on now to the plot of the movie. And that of course is building a laser, science. And then, of course, you find out that somebody's trying to do some bad shit with it. So now they've got to do all the classic 80s stuff to get revenge. Jeremy, what do you think of the plot of the film? Did it work for you, or was there anything you'd have changed about it?
It works. Because, that's because, like, when you get someone like William Atherton, who's, as we know from Ghostbusters, and obviously this film too, he is kind of like that, like slimy bad guy that you kind of just love to hate him, and you kind of want to punch him in the face, or fill his house with popcorn, as you do. So it's kind of like, man, it's like he hides behind like, oh, I have these good intentions of taking all these bright minds and having them come to this university and do their thing, but what he's doing is like it's almost like you're trying to shift the blame away from him. It's like, hey, I know you guys can make this thing work. But I have other nefarious reasons for making it work. So that we can again essentially just Death Star somebody out of existence from space, which is admittedly kind of cool, but also kind of terrifying if that was a real thing. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's I'm removed from that era, so I can say I'm like, God, that's the most 80s shit I think I've ever heard in my entire life. This whole movie, but nothing wrong with that though. Honestly, I thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah, I am from the 80s. I am of that year, and it's some of the most 80s shit I've ever heard.
Okay, well, fair enough then. Yeah, there you go. That'll be great.
I was just thinking I forgot to get a full-on picture of the popcorn. Did I get it? No, I didn't get it.
The popcorn with the house. If you want to reel on, I can find one real quick.
But yeah, I love the plot. I think it's fun. Like, again, in the 80s, there was this whole idea of we need to let the nerds get revenge or get a leg up, get a one up on the bad guys. And I think it was fine because in the 80s, it was so much easier to deal with some of the social stuff and not have to be so touchy about it. Because I think I may have found a picture, but hopefully that one downloaded all right. Because I do think it's interesting. There we go. There's that one. Because I do think it's fun. The visuals of this movie is one of the things that kind of drives it. Because it's like lasers are kind of inherently cool.
They're young science.
Well, they're just inherently cool. It's like even something as simple as like a laser pointer that you get to have your cat play with. There's something inherently cool about a laser, even a very low-powered one like that. But the idea of a laser that can like shoot as hot as the sun and evaporate anything in its path. I was actually kind of wondering, like, when they finally get the laser to work about midway point in the movie, and it shoots through, their targets in the wall and the tree and all that. I'm like,
statue.
What in the world stopped that damn laser? I mean, as far as you know, something
it's kind of going up.
As far as you know, that thing shot a hole in the Empire State Building across the country in New York. You have no idea where the hell that laser went. But yeah, I love the science of it all. I love the character stories are actually really fun in this. I mean, I think everybody at some point in their life feels a bit like Mitch, a bit like the outcast, and then everybody wants to be Val Kilmer's character. They want to be Chris Knight. We all want to hate people like William Atherton's character. It's like so we want to like be in these people's shoes for a lot of different reasons. And so that's why I think the character is relatable. And the plot works great because we want to root for all these people at various points in the movie, except, of course, for William Atherton or, that jerk face. Yeah. What's his name? Kent.
Yeah.
I have no idea how the hell they took his car apart and put it back together in his dorm room like that. In the span of a few hours. I don't know. Like I said, turn your brain off, enjoy the movie, have fun with it. I'm trying not to ask this question as to how, because apparently these guys built a laser that shoots hotter than the sun. So I figure they're smart enough to take a car apart and put it back together in somebody's dorm room. But yeah, I love the plot. I wouldn't change anything about it at all. It was different from like Revenge of the Nerds, because they could have gone a Revenge of the Nerds route and just been like, had them do a bunch of crazy shit for an hour and a half or 2 hours and then end the movie. But giving it an actual real story, like I said, with the Cold War tensions of the time, making it more about tech rather than or involving the tech a lot more than they would in something like Revenge of the Nerds, when it was just about the nerds doing stupid shit and then they have the big musical number at the end and the movie's over. But giving it a bit more structure like that, I think, makes this movie a lot better. That's one of the things I noticed about the plot, is that it's actually a more complete movie than Revenge of the Nerds. I think Revenge of the Nerds is funnier. Tex would actually give it that half point because there's plenty of nudity in that movie. Not so much in this, so Tex would not like it. But and no bloodshed, of course. But yeah, I honestly, I think of the two movies, honestly, I think this was the better one. Not that they're not both good in their own right, but I think this one was a much better put together movie. I think the cast overall, the other one is probably better. It's probably a little funnier. But this movie is supposed to have a moment of seriousness that leads you into the climax anyway. So I think that's a good trade-off to tell a more complete story in this movie as opposed to Revenge of the Nerds. But Let's see, where am I at now? How about I don't know, where do you think this movie rates in Val Kilmer's filmography? I mean, we've all seen Val Kilmer stuff. I'm not a good picture of Val Kilmer. I lost it. There's that one right there. We've done Tombstone. We've talked about, after he passed away, we talked about Heat. Obviously, I think is one of my favorite movies of all time. But I mean,
it wasn't George Clooney. Come on, it's a step up.
It was, yeah, he was a decent Bruce Wayne, but they both failed really bad at Batman. But I don't know, of all the Val Kilmer movies you've seen, where would you put this? Would you put it top 3, top 5? What would you put kind of right above it and right below it?
See, because you've got, goddamn, I think obviously near the top I would put Tombstone for sure. And as much, because again, we know how I feel about 40-year sequels. I'm like, okay, there's one Top Gun, and to me, because I've only ever seen one Top Gun, because I've just been not desensitized, but like, I distanced myself from shit like that. But I mean, especially after he passed, I kept seeing more and more clips of like some of the stuff he did in Top Gun Maverick, and I was like, I'm getting emotional. I hadn't even seen, I mean, obviously because he passed away, but I'm like, I'm getting emotional. I'm not even seen this movie yet. And I'm like, God damn, like, okay, maybe is it really that good? Like, even with the the part that he played for a legacy character. So I would say like Tombstone, Top Gun. I'm gonna put Batman in there because obviously my hands are tied. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not like he's my favorite superhero or anything. I can willingly accept that. And yeah, if you want to round this out pretty well, like you've been saying, like this kind of shows like, yeah, he can also be a goofy but still pretty intelligent guy. I would throw this in there and like maybe like Heat as well. It's not like he had like a big part in it, but he was still a good part of that movie. So it could definitely be in like a top 5. If you want like a good, well-rounded, here's a look at Val Kilmer and like what this guy can do. That would be like the spread I would give you. Like, here, go check these movies out, and you'll see some fucking cinematic magic happen with Tombstone. But he can also be this goofy fucker in a dorm room, putting people's cars back together, like you said, just in their dorm room, casually, because he can. Yeah. I'm gonna make like a definitive list. I want to see what.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at his filmography right now. His first 4
I need
films, well, 5 of his first 6 films. Top Secret, which is a killer spoof. We're going to review that at some point. I mean, if you like Airplane,
fair.
Real Genius, this film. Top Gun.
Yes.
He goes from 2 spoof movies essentially to Top Gun, where he plays Iceman.
Right.
Then Willow, which, like I said, I am not a big fan of sword and sorcerer stuff. I never really have been. Willow is
cool though.
It's a classic film of my childhood. I love it. He does this movie called Kill Me Again, which I got to admit I've never heard of. And then he does The Door.
Oh,
Jim Morrison.
I forgot about that. I just saw The Doors. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, phenomenal in that movie. And then he does Thunderheart. And then a year or so later, he does Tombstone a year later. And then a couple years after that, Batman and Heat. Heat, I think, is top 10 films ever made. And then on
Heat's
and on. Red Planet was one of the movies that got really badly overlooked because they made like 2 or 3 movies at one time that were all about going to Mars. And Red Planet seems like got kind of pushed out. That movie is actually quite good. It's got him, Carrie-Anne Moss, Tom Sizemore. It's a really interesting film. And then
kind of a Heat reunion. Nice.
Yeah, and then Wonderland, where he plays John Holmes. That's a fantastic movie. Let's see, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, classic. Deja Vu actually isn't a bad movie. He's got a supporting role in that movie. It's more carried by Denzel Washington, but I mean it's a killer, but it's a really interesting movie. The Love Guru, I didn't think he was in that. Oh, that's why I forgot him.
Island of Dr. Moreau.
I mean, he did in that stretch of the 90s. Island of Dr. Moreau, Ghost in the Darkness, and which are all very dark kind of brooding pictures, especially the Island of Dr. Moreau, Ghost in Darkness. Both of those movies are very, very dark, very heady characters, and he did them both very well. Not to mention he got to act across from Marlon Brando in one of them, and from Douglas in the other. Back-to-back movies in the same year. Two guys that are heavy hitters, Hall of Famers. He goes in there and acts the shit out of the movie against both of them.
He was in The Prince of Egypt. Holy shit, he was Moses. I didn't realize that.
But then he was in Planes.
Damn.
He did some voice work in Planes. Obviously, later on, his work kind of got a little different because of his health condition, all that. Then, of course, Jay and Silent Bob, the reboot, where he plays the Blunt Man.
I was trying so hard. I'm like, I want to throw Blunt Man in there because, like, god damn it, that was one of the funniest fucking things I've seen. I'm like, that little fucking grin he just gives the camera. I'm like, you little fucker. I'm like, there he is. There's that goofy fucker right there.
Yeah,
that was so funny.
And then his last role was Top Gun Maverick, and God, that scene.
Yeah,
it's just that scene. And then
him and fucking Tom. Yeah,
that movie was already great. I mean, that scene though took that movie somewhere else. And then he actually did some TV. He was on an episode of Saturday Night Live. He did an episode of Numbers, which I remember the episode now that I'm looking at, because Numbers was one of my favorite shows to watch when it was on back in the early 2000s. He did an episode of that. He actually did the voice of Kit in Knight Rider. Did you know that?
In the original show?
No, in the terrible remake show that came out. He was the voice.
Oh, I'm like, he wasn't the original Kit. I'm like, get the hell out of here.
No, that was William Daniels. But
I was gonna say there's no way.
It's funny because who was the guy? Not Saturday Night Live, comedian guy. I forget his damn name.
Oh, that really helps me.
I'll go look real quick and find out.
Will
Arnett. Will Arnett.
Oh yeah.
Will Arnett was actually originally the voice of Kit, and he had actually recorded a few things. But because the Kit car was a Ford Mustang, and Will Arnett actually had some kind of an endorsement deal with Chevy or some shit like that.
Oh no!
Everybody started throwing conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest.
So they ended up having to recast it and ended up bringing in Val Kilmer to do the voice of Kit for Knight Rider, which was it was really cool because it sounds like him. You know, it's him. It's just nice to hear his voice. But then I think it was right about then that he started having some of
it. Are you talking about this 2008 movie Knight Rider?
Yeah, there was a TV movie that came out that was kind of like it led into a series of about 8 episodes.
This looks fucking awful. I don't know. For one thing, the car makes me want to throw up. I'm like, it's a Mustang, but like I don't know. It just doesn't seem. It like when you look at Kit, you're like, oh yeah, that looks like some weird futuristic computer tech savvy car. And like someone just slapped the fucking lights on a Ford Mustang and said there's your Kit. I'm like, no.
They made a couple of fundamental mistakes. The TV movie wasn't bad. It actually got good enough ratings to where they're like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and order it to series. So they ordered the series based on the TV movie that came out. And at the end of the TV movie, who walks up there as he's standing over his mom's grave? But Michael Knight
himself. Was it fucking
Hasselhoff?
Is it the Hoff?
It was the Hoff. He rolls in, and that was actually one of the mistakes I thought they made. I was like, if you're going to do a Knight Rider thing, you got to have
tie it to
it. Not just tied to it. You have to have Hoff involved somehow. You can't just do a Knight Rider.
More than just be like, here he is. Like,
it's not just like, remember this guy? Okay, now on to the new stuff. You can't just do that. You got to have him involved somehow. But yeah, Val Kilmer is just so damn good, and he even did. Apparently, he had some archival footage of Willow was in the TV series, which I never got a chance to watch the last episode of. A, because it bored me to tears, and B, because it got not just canceled, but they pulled it off of Disney Plus.
Oh, they took. I'm like, you talking about the one they took the fuck off Disney Plus because it was so fucking bad. It is gone.
So I never got to watch the last episode. I was going to give it a try. I mean, the show lost me about 3 or 4 episodes, and it kind of loses you. But I mean, the first couple episodes weren't bad, but then it goes straight to hell. But
see, I'm looking at the Trans Am. Like, it's just so much fucking cooler. I'm sorry.
The other significant problem they made in that show, which was dumb. They turned Kit into a Transformer. And that's not me paraphrasing or trying to give you the wrong impression. He literally transforms from a sports car to a truck to a all-terrain vehicle with more lifted tires, so he could drive around the mountains where the hell he was at. They no shit turned him into a transformer.
Yeah,
I could find
no.
it to you of the one scene where you looked at it and been like, nope, and turned it off. Because that's pretty much where the show lost me. I was like, God, I really wanted this. I was really hoping this could still be decent. Not what the original was, just decent and watchable. No, that's where they lost it.
I get this car can do amazing shit, but like,
I hardly blame them.
no.
Transformers was huge at the time. I think the second movie had just come out or something like that. Maybe the
what 2008? Oh God, yeah.
That was when we were still a good movie Transformer area. So I get it. They were trying to cash in on a little bit of that visual. We're going to turn Kit into a Transformer, but I was like, no, that's not what Kit is. You change the fundamentals.
No.
Do not do that. Kit is a character, and you cannot change him that much. But
yeah,
it just wasn't good. But yeah, I mean, where do I rank it? Like I said, 5 of his first 6 movies were bangers. It's like, how do you get that lucky around the jump? I don't even know. But I mean, Top Secret, this Top Gun. So right there, Top Gun alone, for you being your third film, having a fairly significant role in it, that's nothing. That's nothing to shake a stick at. Then the other movie, and then he does. What did I say? He did Tombstone, and then on into
Tombstone.
Batman. It's like, Jesus Christ, how do you get that lucky? Because it's not like he had a short resume. The guy was in like, I think
he's doing a lot of stuff
here for most of his career. I mean, even towards the end when his health was starting to become a problem, he was still doing stuff. He's got that one movie I've been wanting to watch, and I keep forgetting to look it up, about the cake, where he plays like an Italian mafia don or something like that. And it's all about him. Something about the birthday cake, I think, might actually be the name of the movie. But it's kind of a small independent film where he plays like the big part of this Italian family, and like there's all this shit going on that he's got to approve of. It was a pretty wild trailer that I never got a chance to watch the movie of. But I mean, how do you possibly rank his stuff at this point? You know what I mean?
Well, just the ones I railed off in my head. That's the first things that came to mind when I think of Val Kilmer. So that's. But it's like, but then when you look at it in a bigger scope, like I said, I'm like, oh damn it, I forgot about The Doors. I forgot about there's another Alan and Dr. Moreau. I'm like, shit, there's so many good things he was in. That's a hard list to narrow down.
I hate to think about The Doors, that movie, being kind of derided now by a lot of Doors fans. Even Ray Manzarek at one point had said that he thought the movie was being very badly done. But But his performance, despite the fact that movie was probably really inaccurate, his performance was fantastic.
But him as Jim Morrison, yes.
I mean, that was Oscar level stuff. How he didn't win an Oscar for that is kind of fucking beyond me. I don't really understand that at all. What
really?
That had to have gotten nominated for something.
It had to have gotten something, because
Jim Morrison in The Doors, 1991, directed by Oliver Stone, because he's fucking awesome. Let's see. Did it get nominated for anything? Did it? I'm not even seeing any nominations on here. Wow, that's weird. Did it not nominated for anything?
That's criminal. Jesus.
In the Moscow Film Critical Reception. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of people shitting on it. Industry reception. Nicolas Cage said Kilmer should have won the Oscar for The Doors. Following Kilmer's death on April 1st of 2025, The Doors issued a statement on social media saying they're sad to hear the passing of Val Kilmer, truly gifted actor. Blah, blah, blah. His dedication to playing Jim left a lasting impression. Thank you, Val. Let's see. They later wrote, as an actor, Val's channeling of Jim Morrison was so close he gave me the creeps on the set of Oliver Stone's biopic. He should have been nominated for an Oscar as best actor. So no, not even nominations for this movie.
Hold on, I'm looking at IMDb. It says it was 1992 nominee,
Cannes Film Festival.
It says it has 3 nominations. Chicago Film Critic Association Awards, Best Actor, Val Kilmer, Moscow International Film Festival, Jesus, Oliver Stone, MTV Movie / TV Awards, Best Male Performance, Val Kilmer. So, I mean, I guess it had recognition. It didn't actually win anything, which still feels criminal.
But, yeah. Go watch The Doors if you haven't watched it already. I may have to review that one at some point. Right. The movie's just awesome.
Oh, Lord. Hell yeah.
It's typical Oliver Stone. He's just like, I'm going to make a movie. And then here comes fucking brilliance. But I don't know. Jeremy, what do you think? I mean, legacy sequels, remakes, they're there. Is there a? I mean, I talked earlier about how in September of 2014 they were talking about a series. As of 2017, there was no updates. Obviously, it's not on anybody's list of important things to do, list of important projects. I mean, is there room for this in the modern viewing world?
Well, and now that you've lost Val Kilmer, like it'd make me feel better if he was a part of it, and obviously that's no longer an option, unfortunately. I don't know. So I would say, like I said before, it's like everything has to be some legacy sequel or part of a whole franchise. Like you don't, like I said, we should just make movies and just make. Oh yeah, that was a fun movie to watch. This was a fun thing to see. I've seen this. Like it's it's the problem of having to do fucking homework where I don't want to do that when I watch movies. The big offender being like Marvel. I'm like, I don't want to have to just watch all the shows, watch all the movies, play all the video games, read all the comics, and then like, okay, now I'm ready to go watch the new whatever that's coming out. What I mean? It gets a little ridiculous. I can appreciate that you have something like that, but I'm like, there used to be just like, you go to your friend and be like, oh, have you ever heard of this movie? Ever seen this movie? It's not like if I mention like, oh yeah, have you seen Captain America? It's like, oh yeah, that that thing from the MCU, like that's part of But if I just said some one-off thing like this, you're like, oh, have you seen this? You're like, oh no, I'll go check it out. It's start to finish. Here's your story. Here's your movie, and it's a fun time. Would I want that? No. And as for remake, maybe I'm more okay with remakes than I am, legacy sequels. If you do it right, and how you do that, I don't know.
Well, sometimes to me, it's like, it's what assets do you have available to you? Something. If you have the assets available to you and you think you can do cool shit, then yeah, do your thing, do your project. If you don't have the assets, then you have to decide how important this is to you.
What would be the thing in this movie then? Like this was like lasers; it was kind of a new frontier. So like, what would even be in this?
Technology has made leaps and bounds in 1985. It could be about AI. It could be about hacking. It could be about the plot device from fucking Naked Gun. I mean, who the hell knows? I mean, yeah. You can do a crossover. They can be the ones that built the plot device. But
sure.
Look, to me, a sequel is a no-go for a couple reasons. Number one, you don't have that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure there's a way that you could do it that would honor him somehow, and that'd be great. That would be wonderful to do. Mm-hmm. Gabe Jarret, he's only like 50 years old. He's not old at all. He's still technically acting. He's out there. William Atherton, we just saw him recently in the Ghostbusters After Frozen Empire, playing the mayor, his old character. I'm sure he was right. I could do something. John Grease is out there. All these people are out there, with the exception of Val Kilmer, of course, and the one girl who quit. But so they're all. Mm-hmm. I think even Dean Devlin might even want to be a part of this because it's like it's a big part of his early career as an actor as opposed to a writer and director. But I mean, maybe you get him involved in it somehow. But to me, the sequel is not the good idea. If you're going to do this, you got to do a reboot, do a whole new thing. Because you've got Val Kilmer's son Jack, who sounds dead ass like him.
That's true. Didn't he do that thing for that? He did that thing for his dad.
So more than just having a picture of Chris Knight on a wall somewhere and having the camera rest on it for a minute while it plays some soft melody, and we all have our moment of remembering and then go on with the movie. Why not have Jack Kilmer in there playing Chris Knight? I think if you're going to do this, you do a full blown remake. And you send him out there as the Chris Knight character, or even if he's not Chris Knight, whatever that character is, that's how you do it. And honestly, at that point, it comes down to the writing. If the writing is good, then the movie's going to be awesome. But I mean, so yeah, it can be about AI. It can be about robotics. Robotics is a big thing right now. They're, Tesla's building the fucking robotic dude. Everybody's building a robot somewhere now. MIT's been building robots for 20 or 30 years. Make it about robots. I mean, there's no shortage of technological things that exist in the world today that you can use as like the MacGuffin. But I mean, have Gabe Jarret come back as one of the teachers. Have Gabe Jarret come back and play William Atherton's character. He can be the douchebag who's trying to sell the technology to the military. I mean, that would be so you could have him involved, but not as the same character. It could be different. I just, whatever. I think if you're going to try to approach this again, for one, I think a TV series is a terrible idea. We've already had Big Bang Theory, which is kind of what it's the only way that this movie would translate well to a series anyway. We've already had that, so it's not going to work. You're going to look like a Johnny Come Lately. You can't really do a legacy sequel without Val Kilmer, so I just say reboot it. Jack Kilmer as Chris Knight, and then cast some cool people and just and let it be fun and goofy, and don't politically correct bullshit it. Let it just be what this movie is. That's an idea. Whether I don't think it's ever going to happen. Another project for Real Genius is never going to see the light of day. That's my personal thought on it. Is it's just not going to happen, and as well, it probably shouldn't. Some things just happen, and then they happened once in the universe, and that's how they exist. That's what I think about a lot of movies. So let this movie just be what it is. It's one of those movies that's going to last forever anyway. I mean, I was sitting there watching it with my 18-year-old Sunday, and he was thinking about how funny it was and shit like that. I'm like, yeah, so you're modern day 18. I was watching this when I was 200 years ago, 12 years old, and I was loving it back then. So see, that's standing the test of time. But let's get on to a little bit of the trivia now. And actually, there's another pretty famous name attached to this. It's called Brian Grazer. You guys know him. All the he's done, especially with Ron Howard. Producer Brian Grazer remembers that when Val Kilmer came in to audition for the role of Chris Knight, he brought candy bars and performed tricks. Kilmer remembered it differently, saying, quote, "The character wasn't polite, so when I shook Grazer's hand, I looked at him and said, 'Hi, I'm the producer.' I said, 'I'm sorry, you look like you're 12 years old. I like to work with men.'"
Amazing.
So he went in there in character. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, like that's the character right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I love hearing the stories about people who go all out for their fucking auditions. And it's not a surprise. Have you seen the documentary Val on Amazon about him?
No, I have not yet. I've heard it's great.
He was method, but not like full method, not like Jared Leto method, not like that.
Right.
He really got into the character. So it's like, so he would walk into an audition when he was having to audition for roles, like as that character, not like, "Hi, I'm Val, I'm reading for the part of so-and-so," and then do his work. He would walk in as that character. Like he was living the character in front of these people. Mm-hmm. And it goes back to like him and his brothers making, like, redoing scenes from their favorite movies or writing their own scenes and video recording them all over the place. Because he had a video camera everywhere he went and was recording shit. He was like the first vlogger. So there's videos of him on the set of Tombstone and this movie and other movies down the line and stuff like that. So yeah, he was a method actor, man.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. To promote the film, I should find a picture of this one. We'll go this one. Let's see. I lost the page. To promote the film, the studio held what it billed as the world's first computer press conference, with Coolidge and Grazer answering journalist questions via computer terminals and relayed over the CompuServe computer network. Yeah,
mind-blowing technology, isn't it?
Do you guys remember CompuServe?
Yes, actually, I do.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me.
No, I do.
That was early 2000s. I can imagine you remember CompuServe, but that was a long time ago. That was way before that. Let's see. When Laszlo hands in, actually, I'll go back to this picture. When Laszlo sends in large number of entries to the Frito-Lay contest, he's mirroring the actions of Caltech students Steve Klein, Dave Nivikov, and Barry Megdal, who in 1974 used a similar strategy to win a McDonald's sweepstakes. Their entries came to roughly 1/5 of the total entries and won them a station wagon, $3,000 cash, and $1,500 in gift certificates.
Hell yeah. Why not?
Smart people doing smart shit.
Right. They're the real geniuses.
And the funny thing is, like, nowadays you just go online, a couple of mouse clicks, and you're entered for a stupid contest like that. Nowadays they have those blocks on some of these things where you can only enter like 5 times.
Or like so many times a day, yeah.
Instead of sending in like boxes full of cards saying, "Give me a chance to win this shit." So, although that seems like a cooler way to do things, though.
Right.
Already. The liquid nitrogen coins, of which I did not get a good picture of, but the liquid nitrogen coins have baffled viewers for many years and are considered by many to be a goof. However, the very first draft of the script shows that it wasn't an error. The thermos contains liquid nitrogen, which in turn contains a column of supercooled CO2 or dry ice, which is what Chris uses in the vending machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Mythbusters tried this and it didn't work.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would evaporate way too fast.
But I think that they said it was plausible because modern day vending machines have little lasers, ironically, little lasers in them that can read that it's a coin. So if you just put got a couple of like the washers from like, Walmart or whatever, and dropped a couple of washers that were the size of quarters in there, it wouldn't just read it as a quarter. It would be like, no, we know you're trying to fuck with us. Don't do that. He said back in the 80s, that technology didn't really exist in those things. So just putting a couple of those things down there might have worked.
Yeah. The end of a string and just whoop, pull it back up.
There's protections against that too.
Yeah, well, I know because you figured that out
because someone did it though, because that really happened. That's why.
Yeah, that's why it's in. That's what every time you see a warning label, kids, that means somebody did that. So
that means be a lesson to at least once. It was like, I wonder what happens when you. Oh, okay, we should tell people not to do this.
Yeah, we should not do that. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, Jeremy, but in the scene where the military is all set up for the laser test fire, the cars in possession on the dirt road are actually set up to replicate the JFK assassination.
Not that I would be looking for that, but I mean, okay.
Well, I mean,
now I know that.
It's kind of hard to say, really, because ultimately it's just a line of cars being pulled by a bulldozer. Any line of cars is going to look like a presidential motorcade. It's just whatever. Maybe
unless someone was in there with a Lincoln Continental with the top down and sitting there with your pink dress and pillbox hat, I'd be like, okay, that's obviously JFK.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, sure.
Let's see when there's a good picture of a laser I haven't used yet. When Chris and Mitch entered the plane, a background technician says, quote, final check, latitude 65 degrees, 19 minutes, longitude 44 degrees, 9 minutes. Those coordinates actually lie in Russia, just below the Arctic Circle near the White Sea, which was a key Soviet and now Russian Federation naval and submarine base. Oops.
Getting spicy, guys.
I wonder if that was just a guess. If they were just like, we need some latitude and longitude coordinates. Like, whatever, west, east. Here's some numbers. And it just happened to fall on that. I think it'll be kind of funny.
But it just happened to fall near Russia, especially during this time. I don't know if that was as much of an accident.
Especially in the middle of the Cold War. Somebody from Ronald Reagan's White House called in. We're like, hey, throw these numbers in there just so the Russians know. we're not saying directly. We want to know. We know where that Soviet base is at.
We're just saying we know. We know where it's at.
We know. But let's see. William Atherton in 2010 told the AV Club podcast that the popcorn used in the final scenes was treated with flame retardant chemical. And so the crew went to great lengths to guard it against being eaten by birds, which would have died from the contaminant. Atherton also said that even with the machine and the studio dedicated to doing nothing but popping the popcorn, it took 3 months to pop that much popcorn.
Damn. It's a lot of Orville Redenbacher right there.
3 months of popcorn.
I mean, can you imagine that's your job on a movie set? Like, you're going to pop popcorn for like fucking 3 months straight?
Hey, I mean,
I'm on one shot.
I'm on a movie set. I'd be happy.
I mean, it's crazy when you think about how much stuff goes into, even just one scene of a movie. You're like, oh, yeah, you have to make all this popcorn, for just one goofy joke at the end of the movie. Like the thing that always gets me about the movie Seven. When they go into Kevin Spacey's little weird dingy apartment, all the journals and shit like had stuff written in them. Like they actually sat down and even though you see it all in there, you don't see every book. You see Morgan Freeman flip through maybe a few pages or read a couple excerpts out of it. But you're like, no, someone went in there and they had to write all that crap down to dress a scene. It's like, good Lord, some of the dedication to just to getting one scene or even just background decorations.
That's why it's called craft. It's an art. It's a craft.
It's all for the art, man.
Let's see. I'll go to this picture since it's the only picture of one of the actors I'm going to mention. Yuji Okamoto and Gabriel Jarret would both go on to fight Ralph Macchio in Karate Kid Part 2 and 3, respectively. I'm not going to lie. I had totally forgot that he was in Karate Kid 3 because that movie is so unmemorable.
I was like, I don't think anyone remembers Karate Kid 3.
Well, it was all right. It wasn't great. 1 and 2 were good. 3 was kind of like, we just wanted to make a third one because, we have contracts that need to be fulfilled and whatever.
We need to keep the rights. Pump a movie out.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. It's shot like a low budget like TV movie from the late 80s, early 90s, which were very low budget TV movies.
which is bad, yeah.
Well, yeah, they were not good. The late 80s, early 90s, there was some really bad TV stuff going on.
Yeah, I agree.
But let me go back to the top here. See if I have any trivia that I missed. Again, this is one of those movies that's got a shit ton of trivia. Let's see. As revealed in the documentary Val in 2021, some of the pictures on the wall in Mitch and Chris's dorm room were actually drawings made by Val Kilmer's little brother, Wesley.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice. That's cool.
James Roday Rodriguez has stated that his character of Sean Spencer on the TV show Psych is an homage or copy of the character of Chris Knight from this film. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, if you want to draw inspiration from somewhere, sure.
Yeah, I don't feel like going through any more of this trivia. It's a whole lot of it here. Yeah, Gabriel was 14 when he started shooting this movie. He looks older.
Who was?
Maybe he just looked older back in the day.
A lot of people looked older back in the day. To be fair.
Anyway, that's all for the trivia for tonight. But I don't know, Jeremy. Let me get your final thoughts on this. Give me your final thoughts on Real Genius from 1985.
It's definitely a recommend. Definitely worth a watch. It's a fun 80s sci-fi comedy movie that, again, you can kind of turn your brain off because their brains will do all the thinking for you, and they'll be slinging the comedy at you. So you're not gonna lose anything except, I don't know, a few hours of your time watching this movie. So it's a fun ride, start to finish. There's, like I said, kind of Animal House-ish antics that they get up to, and firing big lasers in the sky. I mean, I don't know what you couldn't love about this movie. So go to watch. It was on Tubi for free right now.
It's on Tubi. I think it was also on one of the streaming services. I forget which one. But yeah, it's on Tubi. I watched it on Tubi, so I'll give Tubi a little bit of love. Tubi's not bad. I've also got it on. I've also got a bootleg copy of it somewhere in my collection of bootleg movies. So yeah, I think I watched that bootleg copy to the point where I started to like skip in certain spots because it was just
getting a
little messed up. Yeah, that was how regular I would watch that movie just for shits and giggles. But I'm really trying to find a decent picture of what we're doing on Tuesday, but there's nothing good here.
Tuesday or Thursday?
Tuesday. We'll talk about Thursday here in a second.
Well, I mean, I can do that because you guys are stuck with me on Thursday.
Yeah, you guys stuck with him and Brady on Thursday. But for me, I mean, it's 80s classic. I mean, what do you think I'm going to say about it? But it's very well acted. And again, Val Kilmer, dude, when he hit his stride early in his career, he hit it fucking hard. I mean, that guy was just phenomenal. But dude, this is a crazy rewatchable movie. And like I said, it doesn't depend on the gross out humor like a lot of Revenge of the Nerds and some of the like Porky's, some of the other movies of the when they were trying to show teenage or young adult life. It really is. It's a better movie, I think, than a lot of the shit that was put out there. I just go watch it. Like I said, it's on Tubi for free. It won't cost you any money. Just a couple hours of your time. I think it's totally worth it. I think you'd be. I think if you're a fan of all good comedy, you would be remiss to not give this one a little bit of love. But we'll go ahead and start to wrap things up there. Jeremy, where can the folks at home find you? You and Brady are going to be on Thursday. What do you guys got going on?
Yeah, so always here Tuesday and Thursday. Since I kind of came in with a suggestion, since both Frank and Tex are going to be out Thursday, I figured, hey, why not? It's had some time to breathe. Why don't we go ahead and react and kind of give a follow-up to our initial thoughts to the Fallout Season 2 trailer. Now that we've got that, and I could probably pause it in every frame, I could probably talk for about 4 hours about why that's important.
And he may.
You know, I might. So, yeah, and I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else other than Brady because I know he's shitting his radioactive pants because he saw a death claw. So that's all I'll say is we were right, confirmed. There's gonna be a death claw in season 2, and holy shit. The goal's response was absolutely correct. You run the other direction. That's how you handle that. So yeah, we're gonna go over some stuff for Fallout New Vegas, the video game. Like I said, I'll bring in some stuff from that to kind of compare to it now that we have more images from that trailer for season 2. And god damn, I'm excited. We're going to Vegas, baby, and I'm so here for it. What is it? December needs to get here faster.
It does.
Nuclear winter needs to come quicker. God damn
it. Drop those bombs, damn it.
Well, yeah. Maybe wait till 2077 to drop them when I'm like old as shit and I don't really probably care. Like, maybe do it then in the actual timeline of things. But yeah. I don't want to do this for real.
But yeah, I'm eager to see how you guys break down the most recent trailer because I've watched it a couple times, and I was telling you before we went live, but like you want to call you and be like, "What does this mean? What does this mean?" But at the same time, I'm like, "Nope, I want to experience it new. I want to experience it fresh, not being a steep in the game anymore."
I'll let you know.
But yeah, you'll see Jeremy back here with Brady on Thursday. You will see all of us back here next week. Hopefully, we're going to be doing the Toxic Avenger. The newer version will be dropping this weekend. We're going to do that on Tuesday, and then we're going to go back to 1984 for the original. I think that's the year that one came out.
Mid-ish 80s, yeah. Do that on Thursday. I think
it was 80. I want to say 84, but we're going to spend all
right. We're going
to spend all next week in Tromaville talking about people getting dumped in vats of toxic waste and becoming crazy, ugly superheroes to tear people up. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure Texas is chomping the bit for that one.
Well, remember, we love toxic waste here.
We do. As a matter of fact, if you guys are so inclined, we do have the merch store up, and the only real shirt we have up there right now. Let me go full screen a little bit.
Just so happens to be
the I Love Toxic Waste shirt with the channel logo right there in the heart. Yes, I said
it's like from this very movie.
From this very movie. So yes, go to the merch store and buy one of those. I got mine in the 3/4 sleeve, like the baseball shirts, because I actually love
That's what I need to do.
I wish they'd have had these when I was playing baseball back in the day. God, I don't wear the shit out of these. But yeah, you get a sweater, T-shirt, whatever. Actually, my son Max wants one, so I'm probably gonna go in and buy one for him. But yeah, he thought it was like, the hell's that? That's awesome. And I was like, I had the shirt for like a year and a half.
Here's this movie. Watch this.
Yeah, watch this movie. And he goes, that's what that movie is. And I'm like, yeah. Yes, go buy that shirt. There will be other shirts that will pop up there. I really want to try to get ahead of the game. Like if there's a big movie coming up, I'd like to put like a T-shirt on the merch store that's like centered around that. So if we were doing something like Tombstone, maybe like get the picture of all the guys walking towards the camera and put like yours and mine's and Texas faces on it.
Oh God, yeah.
We can make Casey the horse or something like that. But yeah, we just do something like that just for fun, just for shits and giggles. I think it'll be kind of fun. But I try not to plan that far ahead these days. So having the time to
I was trying to design a Hellfire Club-esque looking shirt, but with instead of that it says the Harsh Truth Club or something. And I'm like, well, Stranger Things season 5 is coming. So
probably wouldn't be a bad time for it. Yeah. Probably wouldn't be a bad time for it. Yeah. Go check out our merch store. Help us out a little bit. Get coffee mugs, get T-shirts like this one, which I wear constantly. Yeah. Help us out there. And obviously, share us around because YouTube doesn't do us any favors. So share us around. Go check us out on Rumble as well, Twitter, whatever you want to do. I put all kinds of fun stuff out on Twitter. So does Jeremy. Jeremy was criticizing me the other day because he thinks that the hash browns and French fries are the same. I disagree.
Well, he's not. He said it shouldn't be unreasonable for McDonald's to not give me French fries in the morning. I'm like, that's what a hash brown is, my guy.
No,
all potatoes are beautiful.
I'm not saying that potatoes are bad. I like French fries, but I want McDonald's French fries with my egg and movie muffin. You know what I mean? I don't want the hash browns.
Well, which is weird because they will still sell you like a Coke at like 7 a.m. So I do get where you're coming from. It's really weird that they don't do that.
You got to put the hash browns made of potatoes in the grease to cook them before you sell them to me.
Like,
why can you also put some French fries, which are made of potatoes, in the fryer next to it, so I can buy those if I so choose. I don't understand that, McDonald's. You guys need to get on that. You guys need to get on that too. It's like of all the things,
fix your damn ice cream machine.
Of all the things a big corporation could do to get in your customers' good graces, make hash browns and French fries available. Why is it so hard? Because sometimes
also now I've been noticing a trend where all of a sudden when I want a frappe, like, oh, the frappe machine's down. Oh, it's being clean. I'm like, don't you start your bullshit with this ice cream machine. Don't put that in there because I will come through that window. I've noticed that more and more. I'm like, are you just not want to do it? Just be honest with me. Like, I want to talk to the guy on the other end of the counter. Like, do you just not want to do it? I mean, just tell me that. I'd be like, all right, I understand. It's Monday morning. I'm some asshole coming through wanting a coffee. I mean, okay, fair enough. You know what I mean? I don't know.
All I want is a frappe and some French fries for breakfast. Damn it!
It's a breakfast of champions.
That's all I want.
Real winners eat that for breakfast.
I don't want a bagel. I don't want a big breakfast. It's too much shit to eat. I just want some French fries.
See, we're talking about stupid merch, and I'm like, now I want to put like a fucking frappe and a thing of fries and be like, breakfast of champions. There's a new shirt right there.
There's our shirt. If we could, McDonald's, can we use your logo, or do we need to just put movies on it because they're probably like better food anyway? I'm
pretty sure if you ask Kevin Smith, he'd let us do it.
Probably. He's cool. He's cool like that. Yeah. He'd be fun. He'd have some ideas as to design as well. I'd take his advice.
Oh hell yeah! He'd fucking hit a blunt and be like, here's what you gotta do, man. You gotta you do talk with his hands, you know. I do it too.
He does talk with his hands a lot. But
I do too, so.
That's all for us tonight. A relatively short one because we didn't have Tex here again. He's off mourning the sudden unavailability of Travis Kelce. I mean Taylor Swift. He was really hoping that he could take Travis Kelce's hand in marriage and become a Chiefs fan and maybe actually win a Super Bowl. But now he's still stuck with Dallas and Tony and Dak Prescott and all those people down there. And so.
No, you don't want an album made about you, so
eventually not to have Micah Parsons either because he's going to get traded. He doesn't want to be there. They're headed for a nasty divorce down there in Dallas. They're going to the Big D, and he don't mean Dallas, not anymore.
Oh no!
But yeah, come check us out next week again, all week long in Tromaville. We're going to be in Tromaville. We're going to be doing the Toxic Avenger.
First, we're taking a trip to Vegas, though.
The trip to Vegas. I'm actually really excited to get your guys' thoughts on the new trailer that came out. Like I said, I watched it a couple times.
We're not going to shut up about it.
Maybe get some context as to what all this stuff is before going into next year. But yeah, come back and hang out with Jeremy on Thursday. Come see us next. Well, we are in Tromaville going over the Toxic Avengers movie. So we'll see you guys next time. Till then, adios. I'm really excited for the new season of Fallout. I'm really jazzed about it, especially from that trailer.
I am, like I said, I'm pushing all my chips towards the table. I'm all fucking in. Let's go.
As long as we get more,
kids, house always wins.
We need more Eric Estrada. You were the only Mexicans cooler than me. You got Danny Trejo, Eric Estrada, almost, and then me.
To be fair, Danny Trejo was in fact in the new Vegas video game, so I'm kind of having my fingers crossed. He played a ghoul. He played a ghoul named Raul.
I watch Chips regularly, in no small part because of Eric Estrada.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.